Yo, this your boy, the real McCoy, coming at you, man. We talking about some hoops, round ball, you know what I mean, little basketball, you know what I mean, talking about the NBA, you know what I mean. This is the second installment of my 3-part series, prediction series for the NBA upcoming season. If you guys want to check out the video I did as far as predicting the 8 teams I think that's going to be in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. This one is going to be for the Western Conference, and the third part is going to be the 4 teams who I think are going to be in each conference finals. Who's going to be in the finals? Who win the finals? How many games? Finals MVP, things like that, and postseason awards, MVP, and all that good stuff. That'll be one video on the awards and the playoffs. You know what I mean? And so this is just the Western Conference, things like that. So if you want to check out the East, you know what I mean, stroll through my channel and check that out, and other videos as well if you want to. Anyway, we'll jump right into it. Now you're talking about the same thing I said in the East. You're talking about the playoffs. You got to think about the new rule change, and division winners aren't guaranteed a top 4 seed in the conference anymore. I explained why in my Eastern Conference prediction video if you want to check that out. So you got to keep that in mind. Winning the division almost means nothing now. But now the 8 teams that I do have, this isn't the order of the seeding that I have them in 1 through 8. Just the 8 teams I believe that are going to be in the playoffs. I don't know any specific seed. Now I will say my top 3 seeds in the West, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I think it's going to be the Warriors, Spurs, and the Clippers. I think those are going to be the top 3 teams in the Western Conference. The Warriors, defending champs, the Spurs, who I like a lot, and the Clippers, you know what I mean? And so we jump right into it. You got to go with defending champs, you know what I mean? They're the champs till somebody knock them off. Golden State Warriors. Now they lose a little bit of experience, things like that, with David Lee. I think he's with the Celtics now, I believe. But they still the champs. They're still young. I think they're probably tired of hearing that, well, if the Cavaliers weren't hurt, you know what I mean? I've said it, you know what I mean? If the Cavaliers weren't hurt, that series could have been different. But at the end of the day, injuries are part of the game. It's part of the sport. It is what it is, you know what I mean? It's not. There's no asterisk next to their championship in the history books. They got that chip, you know what I mean? But they do get a little size. They lose David Lee and athleticism by getting Jason Thompson from the Sacramento Kings. You know what I mean? Steve Kerr and the Warriors, they love those athletes. You know what I mean? Guys that can play multiple positions like Draymond Green, Iguodala, and things like that. So they're gonna be there. You got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Splash Brothers, Iguodala adding depth, things like that. Sean Livingston, one of the better backup point guards in the NBA. So they're Andrew Bogut still holding Defensive Player of the Year candidate, things like that. Draymond Green was as well. I mean, they're defending champs till somebody knock them off. You know what I mean? Then the Spurs. I like the Spurs, man. I like the Spurs. I really do. Coaching, of course, organization. They lose Bellinelli. They lose a little bit of shooting with Marco Bellinelli. But I like the Spurs because they can play any kind of way you want. If you want, like last year in the finals, the Warriors had problems dealing with the Spurs, the Cavaliers' size. The Cavaliers had problems dealing with the Warriors' small athletes, you know what I mean, for their bigs. Well, the Spurs can come at you. If you want to play big, they've got basically 2 7-footers almost, Aldridge and Tim Duncan, you know what I mean. If you want to scratch the floor, they can put Aldridge at center, Boris Diaw at power forward, you know what I mean? If you want to spread the floor and have shooting all over the floor, so you have Aldridge at center, who can hit the 3 every now and then, especially from the corner. Boris Diaw can play power forward and shoot the 3. Kawhi Leonard, you know what I mean? Danny Green, Bellinelli. You can put Patty Mills, bring him in the game. He can shoot the 3. You know what I mean? If you want to slow the game down, you can have Slow-Mo. They got a player on their team nicknamed Slow-Mo. Kyle Anderson out of UCLA. I believe he won Summer League MVP. You know what I mean? He's going to have some trouble with his athleticism, or lack of athleticism on the defensive end. Because if you can't play defense, then you're not going to get many minutes on the floor with Greg Popovich. But if you want to slow it down, like the Cavaliers like to do. They got Kyle Anderson for that. They slow it down, and Kawhi Leonard. And if you want to dump it down and play physical, I mean, they can beat you any kind of way. You know what I mean? Any kind of, if you want to speed it up. You know what I mean? Better, you got on Ginobili. You can bring in Patty. I mean, they can come at you any kind of. I like the Spurs, man. They got the depth with David West, things like that, man. Give them a little size. Man, I like the Spurs. I like the Spurs and the coaching. I really do. You know what I mean? But moving on, then you got the Houston Rockets. They finally answered the one position that needed to be addressed, and that was the point guard. They got Ty Lawson because Patrick Beverly wasn't it. Jeremy Lin turned the ball over too much in the playoffs. And Prigioni, I think he's with the Clippers now, but he definitely wasn't the answer either. They got Ty Lawson, somebody that can run a system and can provide some scoring as well to go along with Harden, Dwight Howard, and the Ariza shooting some threes. I don't like the Rockets' depth. I don't like their depth behind, and they're besides Dwight Howard, they are a really undersized team. So I don't like that, but they'll be in the playoffs, no doubt about it. The Beard, you know, he'll do his thing. The Clippers will be in there. I like the Clippers, man. I think they finally kind of addressed their wings. I was like, they're not going to win a championship with J.J. Redick and Matt Barnes as their wings at the 2 and 3. They should have beat the Rockets in the second round, but they would have lost to the Warriors. I mean, but they bring over Paul Pierce. I like that. They got Lance Stevenson. I like that. You know what I mean? Jamal Crawford coming off the bench. He could potentially be 6th man of the year again. You know what I mean? DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin. Now, you take out DeAndre Jordan, there's the same thing with the Rockets. There's not a lot of size there. Besides DeAndre, there's just not. Blake Griffin's not going to give you much shot blocking and rim protection, things like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of rebounding. We see solid rebound for his position, but as far as paint protection and depth and size, because the Spurs size will probably give them trouble. You know what I mean? Not a lot of size behind DeAndre Jordan. You know what I mean? They'll be in the playoffs. This could be the year where Chris Paul finally gets past the second round. I like the addition of Paul Pierce. You know what I mean? Gives him more scoring. You know what I mean? Who can spread the floor, create his own shot one-on-one. I like that. They need to do something with the wings, and they address that. And with additional Lance Stevenson, I don't know if he's going to start or they're going to keep J.J. Redick, who's familiar with this. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because they don't really need J.J. Redick to come off the bench because they got Jamal Crawford for that. But anyway, the Clippers will be in there. You know what I mean? Like the Clippers. You know what I mean? Things in the Memphis Grizzlies. Like the Grizzlies are a team that's going to be right there. Going to win right around 50 games, 45, 50 games. We know the way they play, grindhouse. They slow it down, they grind you out physical you, things like that. But with that team, they'll never win the West. They went to the conference finals, the Western Conference Finals, I believe, 2013, a few years ago. Got swept by the Spurs. That's their peak. They've peaked, and that's the best that's the best they're gonna do with that roster that they have. That was their peak. When they got, I believe it was the conference finals, against the Spurs, and they got swept. That's the best they're gonna do. I mean, getting swept sucks, but just getting there, that's their max and their peak. You know what I mean? They may have to make some decisions about that roster in a couple of years. You know, but I do like. I think they got Jeff Green coming off the bench now. I like that. Give them a little scoring spark. But that's their Achilles heel, scoring, like the Chicago Bulls in the East. You know what I mean? But they've maxed out. They've peaked. You know what I mean? That's the best they're gonna do. But they're gonna be in the playoffs, but they're gonna lose first, second round. That's it. I don't see them, getting any further. But the way they play, they'll be there. They'll be there in the playoffs, no doubt about that. Then you got OKC Thunder. I like their starting five. Russell Westbrook, MVP candidate. Last year led the league in scoring, 28.1 points a game. Dion Waiters, who can light it up. KD, coming off the foot injury, he's, I think he's going to be hungry this year. They didn't make the playoffs last year. Serge Ibaka and Enes Kanter, some rim protection, things like that, especially Serge, Don't like their depth. I don't like their depth at all, really. I don't like their depth at all. There's not much there coming off the bench. But I'm going to put them, because you got Kevin Durant, who's won an MVP, and Russell Westbrook, who's an MVP candidate, on one team. It's hard to count them out. the experience that they've had, their success that they're building on, things like that. Western Conference Finals 2 years ago, and they almost made it last year. You know, Russell Westbrook was giving everything he had. You know what I mean? The competitor that he is, you know, they almost got in last year. Almost beat out the Pelicans. I think out of 82 games, I think they were in the mix until like game 80, 81. So they were right there. You know what I mean? But they're going to be. I don't like their depth. I really don't. As a matter of fact, I'll be surprised if they got to the conference finals. I really would. I really would, man. I don't like their depth. Their starting five is good enough to get to the finals, but it'll surprise me if they made it that far. You know, so they'll be there though. They'll be there. Then I got the Dallas Mavericks. I was kind of like I don't know. You got losing Tyson Chandler. He went to the Phoenix Suns, but they got Zaza Pachulia. They've got Samuel Dallenberg, some rim protection, things like that. Zaza can hit a jump shot every now and then. I got Dirk. I mean, they got Rick Carlisle, the coach, Dirk, Mark Cuban. They got the foundation now. You know what I mean? Experience, championship experience. Darren Williams going back to. It's been rumored he's supposed to be going to Dallas like 2011. He's finally in Dallas. Wesley Matthews from Portland. Chandler Parsons. They got Dirk. I like JJ Barea coming off the bench. I like Devin Harris. Change of pace type of guy. Him and JJ. And I like who do they pick up in from Virginia? Justin Anderson. I know he's left-handed. Justin Anderson. A lot of athleticism, man. But he's just a rookie. You know what I mean? But he I think get on that veteran leadership that's there. They'll be able to bring him in the mix, man. I got the Mavericks in, things like that. Who's that so far? I got the Spurs. I got the Warriors, Clippers, Rockets, Thunder, Mavs. Grizzlies, that's 7. Now the 8th spot, I was torn between 3 teams. The 8th seed. Now I'm not saying this is the team that's going to be the 8th seed. Just the 8th team I thought that would be in the playoffs. I had 3 teams in mind, and you know I had the Pelicans, who were the 8th seed last year with Anthony Davis, the Brow. I thought about a young team with a lot of talent, man. With a good mix of young players and veterans, the Timberwolves, and I thought about the Lakers. You know what I mean? It kind of shocked me, but I thought about the Lakers. You know what I mean? Now the Timberwolves, I see they've got a good mix of veterans and young talent. They brought Kevin Garnett back, Tayshaun Prince. I believe Andre Miller is on the roster. And they got some young talent. Ricky Rubio, Andrew Wiggins, the very athletic Zach LaVine, Zach Martin's another veteran, things like that. Nikolai Pekovic, probably the strongest person in the NBA. Big guy, man. I don't know if the experience. I mean, they got some veterans. Excuse me. They got some veterans who that could really help them, but I don't know. Maybe next year for the Timberwolves. Maybe next year for the Timberwolves. You know, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they did get in, but I think maybe if they were in the East, yeah, probably more than likely. But in the West, I think the West might be a little bit too much. But they are in the Northwest Division. Now I know division don't really mean that much, but it's you know I think it's going to be down this year. Don't see Portland getting in. Don't see Utah. I don't see the Nuggets. I think the Thunder will be in, but I think the Thunder will be beatable this year. So I was like, all right, maybe next year for the Timberwolves. Then I was okay, maybe the Pelicans. Got the playoff experience now. You know what I mean? 8th seed last year. They got that. They got Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday, Tyreke Evans, Ryan Anderson coming off the bench. Omar Osik was getting rebound and protecting the paint. But I don't like their depth. Eric Gordon at 2 guard. I don't like their depth. I don't like their depth, man. And they got some now. Would it surprise me that if they got in? No, it wouldn't. With the experience that they've got now, but I had to take them. I don't like their depth. You know, yeah, and especially the division they're in, the Southwest Division is tough. Now, all 5 teams. Matter of fact, I predicted that last year. I said all 5 teams from the Southwest Division are going to get in, and they did. You know what I mean? And I wanted to put them in. I said, just maybe, but my surprise, I think the Lakers. I know it's kind of crazy. They've kind of been irrelevant basically for the last couple of years. And is Kobe going to retire when it's his last year? The shoulder injury, Achilles injury, all these injuries, you know what I mean? He's getting up in age, and Father Time is undefeated, and he can't play forever. And he's been in the league for I don't know how long, you know what I mean? But I went with the Lakers. I think Kobe's the competitor that he is. I think he averaged like 21, 22 points last year, or something like that. And I think with Kobe, his competitor, they got Roy Hibbert. A solid low post presence, can bring some rim protection, things like that. Swaggy P. I like D'Angelo Russell. I like D'Angelo Russell out of Ohio State. I like his overall game. Shooting, penetration, his passing, things like that. He's a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. With Kobe, they've got Lou Williams, the 6th Man of the Year last year from the Raptors, who can him and Nick Young, Swaggy P can help Kobe with scoring. D'Angelo Russell can, and they got Kobe. And they've got Kobe. So I was like, man, you got Kobe pushing these young guys, so that's what he does. You know what I mean? He probably gonna piss a lot of them off too. You know what I mean? But and now you got these D'Angelo Russell, and you've got Lou Will, not young guys, but guys that can help Kobe with a scoring spark, help him scoring to go along with Kobe and Roy Hibbert and the rim protection, things like that. And I was like, okay. I was torn between the Lakers, Timberwolves, and the Pelicans. I think I'm gonna go with the Lakers because of Kobe. And Kobe, Kobe. I think he's gonna be at least 20 points a game this year in that area. I don't think he's gonna be 30 like he was, in 05, 06, 04 Kobe, anything like that. He's going around 07. He's dropping 30 a night. I think those days are over and gone. But 2021, 22, something like that. Don't know if he'll be an all-star. I'm not a Kobe fan. My brother loves Kobe. I'm not a Kobe fan at all. I do wish to God I want him to stay healthy all year. Health is a big issue for Kobe right now. But I definitely got the Kobe. I got the Lakers. I think they'll probably be the 8th seed. But I got them in a tough West, in a tough division with the Warriors and the Clippers. Tough division, man. And I think with the right mix of Kobe and Roy, with some leadership to go along with these young guys, and they got Julius Randle. He broke his leg last year, his rookie year. His game reminds me a lot of Zach Randolph. You know what I mean? Not a lot of athleticism, but real skilled around the basket, things like that. He definitely reminds me of Zach Randolph. I like Julius Randle. He can score, things like that, man. And yeah, man, I definitely got the Lakers in with Kobe in there. I got the Lakers. You know what I mean? So that's what the Warriors, the Spurs, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, the Lakers, the 7, and I'm missing the Thunder. Those are the 8 teams I got in, man. A tough Western Conference. You know what I mean? Tough West. I think the Timberwolves are right around the corner, man. The Pelicans could make some noise again, you know what I mean? But that's who I got in. I don't know what seeding. I do think the top 3 seeds will be either the Spurs, Warriors, or the Clippers. I think one of those 3 teams will get the number 1 seed. And I also think they're going to be the top 3. I don't know which order or which team, you know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think, man. Agree, disagree, am I way off, things like that. I'm going to have another video for the postseason and awards prediction. If you guys want to go back and check out my Eastern Conference prediction, things like that, feel free to do that, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. I'm excited about the season, you know what I mean? And it's here, it's coming up less than a month, things like that. But let me know what you think, man. I'm excited for a little round ball, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And let me know what you guys think, man. This your boy, The Real McCoy, man. I'm out. Peace.